What are some moments that happened that didn't make it to the movie? That should. I mean,
boy,
there's probably a lot.
It's a great question.
Well, you know, I can't tell the story.
Yeah, you can.
Oh shit! His son's telling him to tell the story. You got a story?
Well,
He's got the worst story of
ever. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You're on the number one podcast.
I don't know if you guys
in
are.
the world.
How old are you guys now?
I'm fucking.
You gotta be over 30. I think.
I am 34.
We got one.
34.
So I'll tell you the sort of a bridge where you tell me how raunchy you want this to
I
go.
want it.
We want it.
Full fucking.
Let me give you a quick
FTC violations here. I think.
Let me give you a quick preface, Jordan.
Yeah.
That mic was once down Riley Reid's throat. We had a porn star talking about blowing her Uber driver.
Right, but
we have talked about prepping for anal on this show. Jordan.
Riley
You're quoting
Reid,
one episode.
We had porn stars at this event, by the way, and they froze in horror. Just so you know,
Wow.
the porn stars. They said I had a girl
Hey, buckle up,
hooker
yo.
a blue chip hooker for 8 years. Right, we used to classify hookers like stocks. So the best ones were blue chips. Right, then we had the Nasdaqs and the pink. The blue chip goes. I'm doing this for 10 years. I've never seen anything as disgusting as that.
All right, I'm
All right,
ready.
go ahead, roll it out.
I'm ready for
Roll it
this
out.
shit.
So, story goes, right? So, getting married, big deal, right? Rent a private jet, fly 100 strat nights out there, right? And actually, some came Taylor. We took a bunch of hookers with us, right? Like probably 40, 50 from New York. But then we got others from around California, from Vegas, right? We had New York police officers, right? So it was like 100 strat nights, 100 hookers, right? Another 50, 100 got recruited in Vegas. And we had them all shapes and sizes, from the bluest of the blue chips to the most disgusting pink sheet streetwalkers, like
OTC, the OTC girls.
face of a sheepdog, shoulders of an NFL linebacker, right? Just the most rancid shit you've seen, right? But we were equal opportunity employers, right? We don't want to be prejudiced, right? Want to be a nice guy, right? Anyway, so now the Bachelor was at the Mirage Hotel back then, which was all the rage. That was it. The Mirage was the greatest place ever, right? So we had the whole back part of this one floor of the Mirage, right? So my friend and I, I'm going to leave his name out because I'll just said that. I'll give him that much respect here, right? So he was a huge gambler and a really major league CEO of a huge company in the garment center. This guy, right? Total wild man, right? But he was like out of his mind. I mean, this guy would do so much coke, but he was like almost like David Copperfield doing coke. Like he'd carry around like a little billet of coke, right? And with a collar stay, right? And he could do it. He'd be 5 DEA agents around. He'd be like this. He's like, did he fucking just?
He's like a magician. A magician.
He's like a fucking magic.
Wow.
What did he just do? It was like sleight of hand. That's how good this guy was, right?
Damn.
He totally corrupted me, and I'm very easily corruptible, by the way. Right? I'd say
I couldn't tell.
I'm like the parents, people my parents warned me about, right? But anyway, so he was just a complete fucking wild man, right? So we're downstairs. He was a massive gambler. We're playing blackjacks. He's playing 5 hands at once. I'm playing 2 hands, $10,000 a hand. So he's up like $2 million. I'm up like $750,000. We're fucking high as kites. I'm like probably on 15 lewds at this point for the day. At least 7-8 grams of blow, and it's just going on. It's like, this is complete insanity. Xanax, Klonopin, because it sounds good, morphine. I had everything in my system once, but it was all perfectly balanced. So I was like, you saw me, like, wow, the guy seems like he's sober.
How
it's
is
a
that
perfect
possible?
He had the setup
that was
perfect.
balanced. That was balanced, right? Anyway, so finally, it's like,
Did you just say that? Like, where is the balance?
I referred to it as a perfect state of toxic poise, right?
Quickly, what he means is it wasn't in either direction too much.
Yeah.
He was balanced
too far down.
Got it,
like
got it.
Not too much
stimulants,
anxiety, but I'm not a
exactly.
rubber band. Like,
Got it.
That was
Exactly.
perfectly balanced, right?
Exactly.
At
some point, you get
I'm gonna
so
stay a
fucked.
rookie.
At some point, you get so
Go
fucked
eat
up
some
that
plants, right? Anyway, magic mushrooms, right? So anyway, so here's what we got. So we're downstairs, right? We're gambling like mad. I'm up like 700 grand. He's up 2 million, right? And after a couple hours, like, let's go upstairs to the bachelor party, right? So I cash out like $1.2 million in a bag, right? I had my $500,000 plus the 701, right? He leaves his chips there on the table. The guy, and he just leaves it because that's what it's like when you're a huge gambler. So we go upstairs, and as we get to the floor, 20, I think it was 23rd floor maybe, and we turn the corner. It's like the fucking Matrix. It's like it was like the dark energy emanating. You almost like the room was pulsating. The whole really weird energy, right? 2 cops guarding the bachelor doors. We walk towards the doors. The cops say, "Mr. B, you do not want to go in there. You really do." I said, "We must go in there. We must. It's beyond our control." So we open up the door, and there is the bachelor party. And it's like it's like Sodom and Gomorrah on the 23rd floor of Mirage. It's completely out of fucking control. Now, just so you know, I wrote about this in my book, the first book, right? And I described that exact scene, which came on the heels of all the other insanity I was doing, right? And the interesting thing was I already bet about 150 pages in the book, And I was talking about crazy shit. I mean, candles up my ass. I was like, no, up the ass, no big deal, right? All this crazy shit. Midget tossing that. All this. And this was a female editor, Danielle Perez Reyes. And she was awesome. She's like, oh my God, this is great. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. She's like, this is awesome. People are going to love it. She's like, oh my God. Everything. Oh, great, great, great. I'm like, wow. I'm like, so I'm just going to go for it. So when I got to this part with the bachelor party, I'm like, I'll just fucking go for it, right? So I then write out like 12 pages describing every seedy, disgusting detail down to its most minute elegance, right? Where it's like, I mean, like literally you can see the cum dripping off people. Is that how much right? Anyway, and I send the pages to Random House and I get back a comment. I don't think other human beings will understand it. And so I know a few will understand.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
These guys, you're talking to the two people that book was meant for.
Well, let's see.
Can we get the unredacted version?
Anyway.
If they find this disgusting, you got a serious problem.
you will.
You got a real problem on your
No,
hands.
this is so anyway. This is
ready.
like a space-time continuum tear. It like teared space-time.
The fabric of time and space.
Yeah, it did. Like there was music, it just stopped. There was like people froze. It was like, you know, like fucking X-Men shit. Like it was like frozen in place, right? So anyway, this guy and I, we walk in together, right? And there it is. The first thing we see is the bathroom door opens. A little hooker, blue chip, walks like 19, 20 years old. She's limping out, crying, and this guy follows her out. This guy, his nickname was the biggest dick on Wall. She had a 12-inch cock the size of a Campbell soup can, right? She's crying. So everyone gives her $500 for it. She's like, thank you. And she limps away, right? Okay, he's like, I had to do it. It must happen, right? Then it's like a dog poised on all fours with fucking getting blowjob. Nitrous oxide.
Sorry. Can you say what you just said one more time?
Dude,
just the way you said it.
Dude, this is just, by the way, this is nothing. That's Rookiesville here, okay? Anyway, there's cocaine out on plates, you know, dishes of Quaaludes. Everyone's fucking out in the open. Like, it's just complete fucking mayhem. Like an orgy out in the open, right? Like, you know, nitrous oxide. Everyone's fucking doing whippets on a fucking tank. It's just complete fucking insanity. And behind us is the glass, you know, view of Vegas. Just a scene like you couldn't imagine, right? Like out of the movies, right? So anyway, and by the way, here's the sick part. I didn't think it was weird. I'm like,
You just walked in. You were like, normal night in
day at
Vegas.
work, right? Yeah,
normal night in Vegas.
Right? So then this guy, Wigwam was his nickname, right? Called him in the movie. He was rug rapping, as we called him Wigwam because he had the
Right.
worst toupee this side of the Iron Curtain, right? It's like a fucking dead squirrel on his head. So Wigwam was fucking coked out of his mind, right? He's like, he comes and goes, yeah. I'm like, what? He's Ellie, my friend understood Lude's, I should say name, understood Lude speak, right? He goes, he said, check this out. He's like, he brings us to the back. We walk through a series of fucking naked bodies of hookers and insanity. Get to the back, and there at the back of the room, I see the single most disgusting thing ever going on. It's a total like this. It's like, by the way, thank God this was the before Me Too generation, right? I don't condone this. All you Me Too, I swear to God.
Thank you for that. The review team will love that.
Yeah,
That'll
okay.
take care of everything you just said.
Anyway, okay. So, okay. Make a long story short, or make a short story long, right? There's a girl on a stool, a pink sheet hooker, truly with the face of a sheepdog, with missing teeth, whole fucking thing. And there's like 20, I mean, it's just really bad. There's like 20 guys lined up, you know, to bang her, and they're all banging her without condoms. All right. So they're lined up. One guy's banging her. And of course, you have to look to see. Right? Why not? Right. So you're like, oh, what the hell's that? And we look, and you're like, this guy pulls out as they came, and it's like the grossest, most disgusting pussy in the world. Like, it's like, this is like the ultimate vile pussy. Right? Like 15 people in there, and they're still going on. Right. Anyway. Boy, my wife's gonna be mad if you tell them the story. I know I'm in deep shit right now.
She's not here,
How
right?
could you do this? Yeah, no, she doesn't care for me. No. Anyway, here go my corporate sponsors, right? So, all right.
Yeah, we don't have
Because
too
you know
many
that
of
I'm
them
gonna
to
start
lose
my own
here.
podcast. I'm not telling these stories, right? This is for my young generation, too, right? Don't do this at home, kids. It's not good.
Don't do it anywhere, probably.
Right? Okay. Anyway,
Never. Yeah.
Anyway, so
Except Vegas.
no, it's pretty bad. So.
He's saying it's gonna get worse.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so my friend is sitting next to me, and it's like this just disgusting scene. The music is playing, blasting.
What
Everyone's
music, by the
dead.
way, just so I can
Sly and
imagine?
the Family Stone, Everyday People's fucking blasting in the
Everyday
background. Right,
People.
fucking girls are dancing this way and that way, boobs are fucking out swinging. My friend takes a look, and it's just like this just disgusting, rancid, you know, pussy out, and it's like dripping with stuff, and the girl's like with a cowboy hat on. She's saying, yeah, she was getting money for it, right? And he reaches over this, like, sees a Dom Perignon bottle. He goes, all right? Waits, and he goes, go, and drinks it out in front of 150 people. He bent down and drunk it out. At that point in time, okay, literally everything in the room stopped. It was like someone pressed a pause button. All right. And it seriously like tore the fabric of space. And then after he did a gargle and a formal bow, and everyone clapped and cheered, right? And just so you know, and this is a message to everyone real seriously. Like obviously this is 30 something years ago, right? But you don't get there. You get there like one little step at a time.
Yes.
Like we didn't think it was that. It was nutty, but it was like, here's what happened. We were in this situation where everyone was young, everyone was making massive money. It was about how low can you go? What was the next low? Because if something happened, right, then okay, well, fair enough. What can you do worse? Like, what can you do? It's more extreme. After a while, you're basically running out of things to do, so you're inventing insanity. So it was like these insane acts because you had to outdo the one before. So
it's almost like you start edging on this like pagan, ritualistic, like
it's like Rome. It's like honestly more. It's like, okay, so it's more like when you're running an organization that large, it becomes its own self-contained society. It does. There's births, deaths, marriages, affairs, there's love, there's hate, there's every emotion, every relationship going on within this organization, right? Thousands of young kids all making millions of bucks, right? So, hello,
Mom.
Who called?
Mom, who was it?
All making a ton of money, right? So, what happens is it's like almost like it was like Rome, and this was like the Colosseum. The mob needed to be entertained. The mob needed a spectacle, right? And my partner Danny was Donnie in the movie he was like the Knights. He was head of the Knights Templar. They go around and like search for acts of depravity to just bring into it was really just really nuts. So that was really how it started, and it sort of did. By the way, that was not the end. That was very early on. Things got much worse after that. Wow. That was just a point. So I saw that, and I was like, I was so revolted. It really was, right? And I left. I said, I got to go. And I left the party, right?
It's too much for you.
It was too much. It was disgusting. Right? The whole thing was disgusting, right? All right. And I went downstairs and I said, took 5 Xanax or maybe 10 Xanax probably back then and passed out. Wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And my friend who had done that, right? He's shaking my shoulders. He's like, we got to get out. It's too depraved. I'm like, you're telling me it's too fucking depraved. We got to go. This place is evil, right? So all right, when I take a shower, I go to the safe to get my $1.2 million. Fucking safe's empty. I'm like, where's my? He goes, I took a bit of I lost $3 million that night, and then lost like 30 million more over the. So it got really bad. So listen, you can look at this stuff and laugh, right? But I say this when you look at my life, there's things you want to model, right? There's a lot of good stuff I did, right? But this falls into a very different category of drug-induced insanity. Listen, I'm not the first guy to have a wild bachelor party, right? It's just that it was sort of like everything had to be over extreme. Like, to feel what happens, you become desensitized against normal emotion. Right?
Of course. As soon as you start down that road.
Right? So the only, like when I give speeches now, I teach sales, I do corporate stuff, right? I always say the only way to avoid is not to take the first step. Because if you take the first, it's like you cannot be half pregnant when it comes to ethics, and you just can't be.
Unless, like you said earlier, you're one of the privileged. We're not, I wasn't privileged either. I wasn't one of the people that could say, hey, I'm going to do some depraved shit tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to turn that shit off. Well, once I started sliding down that slope, it was over, dude.
There's different, obviously, people in the crowd. They all, some are leaders, some are followers. And on another level, it's like what happens when you see like a Brazilian soccer match. 100,000 people, everything's fine, they're nice people. One too many drops of alcohol, the wrong team loses, and fucking next year they're tearing down the lamppost. Yeah, and everyone individually is okay, but they gang mentality, a mob mentality. Yeah. It's insane. So that was probably one of the grossest things I'd ever seen. And in the book, in the book, it just says I go up to the door, I look in the bachelor party, and I was so grossed out, I left.
That's what you
but
got.
I never said what actually happened. That's what happened.